As always, please raise your hand and get a mic to you. Start with Jerry.
Bill, can you update us on Nick's situation?
Was swelled up. Jimmy, I didn't see it on the tape, but Jimmy Dykes told me he rolled it pretty good. I don't know if he stepped on an ankle or if he just rolled it, but it was swelled up.
Any idea?
I didn't ask. I didn't talk to anybody yet.
Questions, folks? Up here front.
Coach, defensively, with what you saw from Ashton with his 4 steals today, how much do you feel like he's picked up from where he left off last
Who?
season?
Ashton?
Ashton Davis.
Yeah, when he was out, you know, I always say defense starts on the ball. And if you can't keep the ball in front of you, they're running downhill, they're shooting layups, they're getting your bigs in foul trouble. And when he wasn't in, that's what happened. We work every day on one thing: stay in front of people on the drive, and you can't do it by turning. You got the lunge, but these kids, it's not their habits yet, and that's our job, is to create habits for these young people. And you know, we weren't able to do it. The second thing I've said from day one is the physicalness, the toughness we're going to have to play with. Georgetown was physical and out-rebounded us. I mean, and most of it was just scrappiness. Like, you had to go in and they were going to throw a body on you. They're not just letting you go get balls. And they played well, you know, and Omer played well, shot the ball well, and Ashton kind of, you know, got after him a little bit, but, you know, Georgetown did a good thing. And you know, like I told them, you guys get a chance where we started the game so good defensively, made some shots, but it was, we held them to 15 points with 2 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden it's a 10-3 run by them. And then you're going to go back to the tape and say, who was in the game? You can't be in the game at that time. So now all of a sudden it's a closer game, and you know, they get it to 17, but we just got a long way to go. I mean, we're shorthanded up front. Without Nick, we're really shorthanded. Don't know how long we'll be out, but you know, it's everybody buying into defensively how we got to play, and to do that, you can't be thinking just offense. You got to focus on our team. It takes it for all that you've seen. It did. I remember sitting here last year. We played IUP, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're up 9.5, luckily, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, how in the world are we going to win any games? So just about every year, I'm in the same, you know, mode. You know, how are we going to do this? Where are we going to get buckets? We posted the ball, we couldn't make those 2-footers. Come on now. How we, you know, where are we? Emmanuel's gotten so much better, he's shown it, you know. But we got guys that just got to develop better habits. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
Now, how much did tonight underscore how thin the margin for error is in the front court for you, and how well built are you to go small if you need to, for however long you need to?
We can, because, you know, we could play 3 guards and be fine. I mean, Emmanuel, obviously Ashton and Tyrese. I mean, you get 3 6'3"-ish kind of guards who got some toughness to them, so you can do it. The issue becomes shot blocking and how we're playing behind those 3. You know, with Nick in there, and you know, even EJ. But we had a couple guys that didn't get any rebounds. And you're a frontline player. Wait a minute. That means you're not focused on, I'm going to go get balls. You're focused on other things, and that's, it just takes time for these guys. It just takes time.
Now, one of the challenges, especially early, you got 4 returnees have a pretty good idea of what you're asking, and a bunch of new guys trying to blend that into one.
Well, when you're in a big-time game, you may be playing 6, 7 guys. I mean, and then hopefully as the season goes, you get to where you can play all 9 guys. But there may be a game where you're like, look, we're just getting through this one here. Can't have any 2-minute letdown that gets them on a 10-0 run, then you can't win the game. But the 4, you know, I think, again, Emmanuel and Ashton, even EJ. EJ's a better player, but you're going to have to play rougher. Just, I think Georgetown came in with one thing: rough him up, be physical, bang him, push him. And you got to know that's just about every game you're going to play. So you got to be able to play through it and still make shots. And I think he will. He's way better than he was. Nick, we didn't throw Nick the ball enough in the second half. I just said we're throwing it in the post. And but Nick obviously got hurt. If we'd have been throwing it to him.
Stay in front with Kyle. Keith.
How much better has Keon Brooks gotten since day one?
He's really improved. He's really improved. And but again, I'll watch the tape. There will be things I'll pick up. You know, most of it's stopping on defense, not being able to come up with a rebound. Defensively, it's not my man, so you're not helping us like you have to. I showed them on the board prior to the game. When we hold teams to 55 points or less, we have a ridiculous record. When we hold teams under 63 points, we have a ridiculous record. When we hold people to 40% from the field, we have a ridiculous record. Like, it's almost like, what? So how about we just focus on that? We'll get the offense, we'll figure that out. Just focus on that. If you can help us hold people to low numbers and low field goal percentage, you need to be playing. If you can't, you're probably not going to play as much until you catch up with those things.
Stay right there with John.
John, it's obviously you don't play favorites, but everybody cheers for Nick. Do you feel extra pressure? Well, pressure, that's not the right word. Do you feel an added responsibility to be able to coach a 30-year player like him and get him to the next level?
You know, we've done it. I mean, with Willie, and we've done it with, you know, PJ, and I should say they've done it. They did the right things. They came back. And I think Nick did the right thing, and he's so much better than he was. He's better conditioned. He's better mentally. He's not even the same guy. That's why I was just so disappointed for him to get hurt, because I want him to keep building on what he's doing. And he was telling guys, throw me the ball. I was so proud of him. He was looking at a couple of guys, hey, throw me the ball. I'm in there. And he made that jump hook, you know, and he's shooting the ball better. You know, you can put him in a pick and roll and let him pop. He can make that way better.
Kyle on the right, then over to you, Jared.
And while you guys figure this out in the front court, how much onus is on those guards on the perimeter to be sort of their best selves defensively? It seems like if you guys are going to be great, it'll be because they lock
It always starts with the ball, though. We're going to be a good defensive team. You got to guard the ball. If you can't guard the ball, you remember Shea. He could guard the ball. Ashton can guard the ball. We got to get other guys that can do it. The second thing that Ashton did today is he touched the lane, not just to shoot it. Like, he drove it in there to get somebody a pass. And we have other guys, if they drive, they got one thought: I'm shooting it. Well, it's funny, we hadn't practiced that way, but when you put stats in this, it kind of screws up the game, because guys start thinking, I got to get some baskets. And so now, instead of just playing the game as it happens, you know, I'm driving and I'm going to run somebody over. We had 2 charges. Like, there were 3 guys there. Why didn't you just come to that stop and make that pass? Well, you have that kind of slippage with young guys.
Jared.
John, that was in the first half, you put Johnny in the game, and he went straight into the game. He didn't go to the scorer's table. How valuable are these?
I was happy he had his uniform on underneath it. I just laughed. Matter of fact, he did it twice. Like, he went over there.
Sarah on the front.
Your reaction to P.J. Washington's debut in this, that yet another example you were holding somebody
His second
back?
game, he had a double-double the second game. And Bam had an unbelievable block to win that game. Tyler has been playing well. I mean, these kids are all, you know, we've been fortunate. And our job is to help all those kids develop habits, to get them in great condition, to get them tough, because that's a man's league. And if they choose to want to be there, then you got to be a man. That's our job, and we can't shy away from it. How do we help them create professional habits? And that doesn't mean just on the court. You know, that's off the court, and to prepare them for a life they want to live. But, you know, it's, you know, the stuff that, it's just not easy. And then doing it here, you know, where it's every team is like, I thought Georgetown played great. I did. They missed shots, but they played great. And they didn't play afraid. They played physical. They ran the stuff they wanted to run. They ran clock down and tried to go one-on-one late in the clock, and a couple of our guys just stopped playing, and all of a sudden they're shooting layups and made some tough shots.
Coach,
Ever left?
Whitney really struggled to get going today. Anything contribute to that? Just
Who's that?
Whitney. Is there anything?
He's young. He'll be fine. You know, he took a couple shots that I wanted him to take, and it just didn't go. Missed a couple free throws, which is, you know, unusual. But again, it's the first time out, and you're here, and you know, we need him to defend and rebound. If he does that, he'll be able to stay on the court really well.
John.
Coach John, you said on media today that Quigley wasn't the same person that was this time last year. Is it fair to say that he's coming along, like you said, he was?
Yeah, he's. I think everybody that's watched him, you know, he's. Most of this becomes the mental part of this, where you understand what's expected and you can do it, and then you work on the things that you need to work on and master things that you do well. Not every kid does everything well, so here's how we want you to play. You buy in and you master, and then the defensively and the toughness, and he plays so hard. You know, I'm proud of him. I mean, he made shots today, but it's more than making shots. I want him to be that defender. I mean, I took him out because he drove on two guys and had a lob for a dunk, and he didn't throw it. I'm like, dude, no, you're not doing that. You know, I know you scored some baskets. You're not here trying to get 30. That was a lob pass to that guy. Matter of fact, he could have lobbed it to either guy because there were two guys over there. But played well. Other than that, he's works hard. He's trying, and proud of him.
Jerry, what with you?
John, with Nick in limbo a little bit, how viable an option has Ben Jordan to give you minutes?
I probably wouldn't do that to Ben. You know, I may talk to him. You know, he's been great in practice. I mean, he's really the guy's. He gives us a big body and he's physical, which is exactly what we need. He'll dunk it. He'll lay it in. He's a basketball player. He can, you know. But I'm not sure I'd put him in that position at this point. But in practice, we're going to need him.
All right, folks, we'll end it there. Ashton, Emmanuel, Keon coming in just a few minutes.